Hi dear subscribers, most watch me without a subscription, support my channel with a subscription, and I will make you happy with new story. Story 1. I slapped my girlfriend out of Reflex when she woke me up with oral. I, M21, slapped my girlfriend, F20, out of Reflex when I woke up to her doing certain things to me. Using a throwaway for this. I guess I have to put a TW for sexual assault here. I feel horrible for what I did. How do I even start this? Let me just start by saying that I would never slap her intentionally, let alone hurt her in any way. My girlfriend has a very high sex drive unlike me, and therefore she is the one to initiate sex most of the time. It took me a few years to fully trust her, but she was such a loving and caring person who understood my trauma and was always able to control herself even with her high sex drive. When I was a child, I was sexually molested by my own egg donor. I remember how she covered my mouth with her hand while holding me down, and I tried to scream and defend myself. But I was just a little boy and she was a grown woman. I wouldn't call her mother because that's not what mothers do. This traumatized me and it destroyed every relationship I tried to build with a woman. It was hard for me to trust one until my girlfriend appeared. And she always respected my consent so far. Yesterday evening she wanted to have sex and I told her I wasn't in the mood right now, and then I turned around. I woke up in the middle of the night to my blanket gone and her doing oral sex. My heart started beating really fast. All the anxiety I felt as a child came back, and before I realized, I slapped her so hard she fell off my side of the bed. I immediately realized what I just did. The only thing I thought about was that I slapped her. She held her cheek while looking at me with a shocked face before starting to cry. I wanted to comfort her and apologize, but she ran out of the room into the bathroom where she cried her eyes out, and then she went to sleep on the couch. I apologized repeatedly, but she refuses to talk to me. I feel so bad. I know I am a horrible person and there is no excuse for this. But what can I do so that she speaks to me again? Is there anything I can do so she forgives me? Update: when I made the original post, I definitely didn't thought it would blow up like this. And I certainly didn't expect the comments to be so one-sided. And I didn't expect them to be on my side. I expected nothing but people telling me how horrible I was, and I felt that this would be the only comment I deserved. But after reading literally thousands of comments, I slowly began to realize what actually happened there. You have to understand that this moment shocked me to the core, and this shock still was there when I uploaded the original post. I saw myself as the absolutely disgusting women beater because of it. I never wanted to hurt anyone, but I realized now that it was a trauma response. When I woke up to her going down on me, it felt like my whole body was controlled by someone else. Like I was controlled by strings that forced me to react like that. And the more comments I read, the more I was sure about that. One day after the post, after thousands of comments from Reddit but also from TikTok and many DMs, I talked to her about it and I broke up with her. Because all of this made me realize that my perspective of loving and caring was pretty F***ed up. I realized that she showed me the bare minimum of compassion someone should have in a relationship, and I noticed many toxic patterns I haven't realized before. But going into them now would not only be irrelevant to the actual topic, but it also would take way too long for this update post. By the way, she refused to apologize to me and demanded an apology from me. Besides my now ex-girlfriend, I only had one friend. I don't have an actual mother or a father. I don't have grandparents or siblings. Just this one friend. So I really lack of healthy bonds in my life. Breaking up with her was a hard thing to do, but it was necessary. She currently stays with her mom, who also called me yesterday to ask why I broke up with her. And I saw no reason to lie and just told her everything. She was quiet on the phone for a while and then just told me her daughter's ex-boyfriend broke up with her for a similar reason. She said it wasn't the same situation but a similar one, and then she apologized. She didn't go into details, but if I'm interpreting it correctly, my ex seems to have a thing for traumatized men. But again, there is no evidence to support that claim. That's just how I would interpret this conversation with her mom. So what am I going to do now? Well, I'm going to therapy and probably won't enter a new relationship anytime soon. I focus on myself and I have to heal. No, I won't press charges because that would mean that I would have to deal with it in a negative way and put energy into it that I just don't have. I hope you can understand that. Her mom is probably going to punish her anyway. And losing the respect of a person you love dearly, I can imagine that's worse than what she would get as a punishment from the court. As for you, I would like to thank you all for your comments. The comments you left on the original post, the private messages, but also all the comments you left on the TikTok posts that shared my story. If you left a comment on one of the TikToks, chances are I've read it. Thank you all so much. Story 2. Is he using polyamory as validation for cheating? Warning, there is a lot to be explained here, very sorry if I repeat myself. I met my husband at the start of 2019. We got along right away, and as the first date was being discussed, he made extra sure to tell me so I'm polyamorous, and that's never going to change. And in the past, I have had trouble remaining faithful and sticking to one person, so I figured that kind-off arrangement might be perfect for me. So I said, sure, I can give that a shot, as long as you're honest with me. I'd rather have things happening under my nose than behind my back. Our relationship moved super fast. We were officially dating 2 weeks later, and I was staying at his apartment a lot. He had a female roommate, and he'd been honest about sleeping with her in the past, and I believed him when he said he didn't do anything with her once he and I began dating. Honestly, I just didn't feel threatened by her once I got to know her, but it was the roommate that told me about the party that would soon be taking place in my husband's apartment. An orgy party. Now, I had no problem with this because the arrangement was that my husband got paid for a friend to use his apartment for the party. My husband, boyfriend at the time, then assured me that he wasn't being a host for the parties to participate in all the sex, the money he got paid was just helpful. So I went to the party and of course, he asks my permission to fuck one of his female friends. So, alright fine, he asked me. I didn't want to ruin his fun, so I let him. The third party comes around and I get too drunk, I'm puking in the sink, husband comes by once to help hold my hair back, then he fucking disappears. Once I'm better and more sober, I go look for him only to find him balls deep in someone he did not ask me permission to fuck. So, I let it happen for a few minutes, I even grab a piece of paper and write 9.5 on it like when you judge ice skaters. I was trying to be supportive, but then I saw him pull out of the condom and go back in raw. A rule of the party was no sex without condoms. That was the first time I walked in on him fucking someone. The second time was months later. I had relented and let one of his friends who I got along with into our relationship. This girl was married and her husband was rich, so I didn't feel threatened there either. One night after a party everyone left, but the girl dating us got to stay over. I couldn't find my phone the next morning, so I left the bedroom to look for it. When I got back to the room, the girl was riding my husband, and yes, I'm aware we were supposed to be in a relationship with her, but no one warned me, no one asked me, no one cleared anything with me, and he had no condom on. He says it's not cheating because we were dating her, but damn, you can't give a bitch some warning? The third time I walked in on my husband fucking someone is probably the one that hurt the most. We had been casually partying with two girls that were friends of mine who lived in my husband's apartment building. We were in one of the girls' apartments, she lived on the second floor and we lived on the third. A friend and I were in the living room laughing and talking, then we noticed that neither my husband nor the girl were in the apartment. So I went to our own apartment to look for my husband. He had the door locked with the chain on, so I could unlock it but not open it past 4 inches, but that small space was all I needed. I could see clear to the window across the room where I saw the reflection of my husband shoving his cock back into his jeans. This literally happened on our 5-month marriage anniversary in 2020. Why didn't I leave him then? He was drunk. He claimed what he did was a drunken mistake. He also threatened to hurt himself if I left. Now, we have a little baby girl. There hasn't been any physical cheating that I can prove, but I have had access to my husband's phone. When I was 6 months pregnant, he bought nudes from a female friend he's met once or twice, and he doesn't consider that cheating because it's his money and he can do what he wants with it. But he also texted an ex. At one point the ex said, "You probably wouldn't even want me if I was there." And my husband instantly replied, "If you were here, I'd pop a boner instantly, on the spot." When my daughter was 6 months old, he lied to me to go to a party with a girl. And literally just 2 weeks ago, I found a conversation of his with a girl he met on Facebook where the flirting was rampant, and that's one of my boundaries because of all the previous cheating. He can flirt with anyone he wants, because I know I can't stop him, but he's supposed to at least be honest with me, and so far he's just still hiding things. He keeps gaslighting me, telling me things like, "Oh, so I just can't have any friends?" And I get it, I've been acting jealous, but he's the one that got me there. And I just keep telling myself maybe if I can stay with him through this, he'll finally see that I'm worthy of his loyalty. But I'm guessing now that I'm a little delusional with that one. He also has this whole separate issue where he says he's incapable of being affectionate to me or flirting with me. He was great at flirting with me in the beginning, but by the time we were married, it was pretty much gone. Apparently, he only knows how to flirt or show affection at the start of things, but once he's comfortable, he feels he shouldn't have to put work in to make me feel wanted. He never even says "I love you" unless I say it first. TLDR, walked in on husband fucking people 3 separate times, been begging him to just be honest with me if he wants to flirt, and he's still keeping secrets. So, is he using polyamory to keep his options open, or have I just been a stick in the mud that needs to be more open-minded? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.